Hello, my name is Howard Giles. I am a member of the Child Care Consultation Program with the state of Nevada. Today we're talking about how to stop bedwetting. Now, the technical term is enuresis. Enuresis means urinating on one's clothes or bedclothes, and we distinguish between this occurring at nighttime and during the daytime. Daytime enuresis we call diurnal enuresis, and nighttime enuresis we call nocturnal enuresis. So we're making that distinction. Now, I'm going to be talking about urinating while asleep. That's how we're going to be discussing this. So the first thing that we want to think about when we think about a child who is urinating while asleep is to go to the pediatrician and just to get a quick checkup, to have a conversation with them. There's a couple of things that we're going to want to rule out with our pediatrician. We want to make sure that there's no urinary tract infections, and we want to make sure that there isn't constipation. So urinary tract infections can make it so that it's painful to urinate, and so a child might be postponing or prolonging their need to urinate, and so once they're asleep, then they are urinating or even having bowel movements. And something similar is happening when a child is constipated. Constipation produces some pressure on the bowels, and a distended bowel can put pressure on the bladder, shrinking its capacity. The child isn't able to hold as much urine at night, and it also inhibits the signals that the body sends that the bladder is full. That constipation can lead to just this constant kind of discomfort or pressure, and so the child is having a difficult time discerning whether they need to urinate or not. We don't often think about this as adults because we've had years of practice, and the child is just learning how to read those signals of their body. So this is a big thing that we're trying to help them with. So have that conversation with the pediatrician. Most pediatricians are going to talk about, or you're going to want to ask about, some of the common remedies for constipation. So this is a child that's not having bowel movements at least 3 times a week. The bowel movements are really large, or they're rocky, or have lumps. So we want to have that smooth kind of sausage-shaped bowel movement, and we want it to be more than 3 times a week. So to get to that, we're going to have regular exercise. We're going to have regular balanced nutrition, lots of fruits and vegetables and other fibers. And we're going to possibly want to use some of the over-counter, the laxatives that are appropriate for children. So a regular minimal use of those laxatives can be beneficial, especially if the child is still in any stage of toileting. So even 5 and 6 year olds are going to need help sometimes with wiping or cleaning themselves. These children are likely to be postponing urinating, again, because they're playing or they're watching a movie and they're holding it, and so they're having difficulty in reading those signals. And again, that constipation or that lack of practice, if you will, with toileting can make it difficult for them to learn those signals. So those are all the things we're going to be wanting to think about, and we're going to be wanting to watch. When we go to the pediatrician, we want to make sure that we've been paying attention, just taking that step back and watching to see what our children are doing so that we can give them some accurate information. We want to be able to say how often our children are having bowel movements, what the quality of those bowel movements are. We want to be able to say something about the urination as well, right? Are they likely to be holding it? Are they fully emptying their bladder? Is this a child that's going just for a little bit and really not allowing their bladder to vacate? Are they just going a little bit and then going right back to play? So we really want to be taking a look at all of this so that we can give some accurate reporting. Now, if we have a child that we think is purposefully urinating or purposefully having bowel movements away from the toilet, and there's any kind of stress or trauma in this child's history, no matter how early, whether we think they remember the trauma or not, we definitely want to be consulting the pediatrician and possibly going to a mental health or behavioral health specialist. You can go to somebody who is experienced in trauma and is experienced in working with children, and they're going to be able to walk through you with some more specific techniques than what we're talking about today. Today, here is the very basic general technique for dealing with some urinating while asleep. And the first one is just to think of it that way. We are dealing with urinating while asleep. Bedwetting suggests that the child did it on purpose. And if they're asleep, there's no way for them to do it on purpose. So now we're thinking about it in a different way, and we're thinking about the fact that, oh, this kid's asleep, so what is it they're going to have to do? First off, they're going to have to recognize that they have to urinate. So we're wanting to talk to them during the day. You went to the bathroom. What did it feel like? What did your bladder feel like? What did your body feel like that you knew that you needed to go to the bathroom? When they're done, how does your body feel now? Do you feel like all of the urine is out of your body? Do you feel like you have to have another bowel movement? We're wanting to talk with them about how their body feels. How is it that they know? What are those signals that they're getting? So we're bringing into awareness, we're bringing into consciousness those signals. We're also regularizing and we're normalizing this very important function of our bodies. We're not dealing with it or talking about it in an embarrassed way or a shamed way. We're not using little quirky catchphrases or words for urine or feces that nobody else knows. This is especially important if we've got a child in daycare and they're using some word that only your family knows. We want to normalize these functions of the body. So we're wanting to talk with them regularly about what does it feel like when you need to go, and what does it feel like when you're done, when all the urine has left your body. Then the second part is, and we're going to talk about these both at the same time, the second part is you need to wake yourself up. If you're asleep and your body feels like it needs to urinate, we need to wake ourselves up. So how are we going to do that? How do we wake ourselves up? Any experience the child has of waking themselves up, we want to point out, oh, you woke yourself up. Before bedtime, we want to talk with them. If you have a bad dream, or if you need your mommy or your daddy, or you need to go to the bathroom, you need to wake yourself up. And then once you're awake, then you need to come and find us, or you need to go to the toilet, and then you're going to need to lift the seat, and you're going to need to sit down, etc., etc. We're going to talk with them about a plan before bedtime. We're going to talk about this with them every night, right? These are some of the rituals that we can have at bedtime. The routine is the order in which we do things. Rituals are time to talk about our children and to prepare them for what it is that they're going to have to do. So we're at the same time talking with them about what does it feel like to have to go, and how is it that you're going to wake yourself up. This is a very important skill for children because some of them are very deep sleepers. They have a lot of difficulty waking themselves up from a nightmare. Some of them are experiencing night terrors. And so we're wanting on a regular basis to talk with these children as soon as they're old enough or at any age, just to remind them, you can wake yourself up. You have the power to do that. You can learn how to do this. And so we're going to be supporting them. We're going to be praising any slight indication that they're learning this skill. And then finally, any step along the way, if they wake themselves up and then they still have an accident, or they get to the bathroom but they urinate before they get onto the toilet, we're wanting to do a couple of things. Number one, so essential, we need to protect these children's feelings. We all want our feelings protected, right? When we have accidents, we don't like people calling us names or pointing out that this is a big mistake for us. We know it. We want our feelings protected, so we need to protect the feelings of the children. We're never going to call names. We're never going to be critical. We're just going to say, oh, we need to clean that up. Oh, here's a mess. We need to clean that up. Help me clean this up. So we're going to normalize, regularize. We're not going to use any shame or name calling. Anything that they did, we're going to praise. Well, you got to the bathroom. Now we just need to get to the toilet. Well, you got to the toilet, but we had a little bit of a spill. Well, you were in bed, but you woke yourself up once you had urinated and you came and got me. So you woke yourself up. So now we just need to wake ourselves up when we feel like we need to go. And now we're having that conversation again about what does it feel like when you need to have urine. So these are the basic steps. We're going to normalize it. We're going to regularize it. We're going to stop calling it bedwetting. We're going to call it urinating while asleep. And we're going to consult with medical professionals or mental health professionals whenever we've got any questions or concerns, or we've got a gut feeling as caregivers that maybe there's more going on here. Trust your gut and be generous with yourselves and with your children. Thanks for watching.